Hello everyone, and welcome to my next video, in which I am going to be taking on the Cloudy with a chance of Squall LUFENIA Plus as part of Cloud and Squall's Crystal Strength 90 and Level 90 Awakenings. And for this one I am going to be bringing a team of Cloud, Garnet and Rem. Don't need a friend because we're pretty much smack dab in the middle of garbage time right now, and I honestly cannot think of any friend I would rather have than anyone in my main party right now. Now I am bringing Cloud along for this one. I could have brought Gilgamesh. One of the requirements is actually for you to use a greatsword user, and I could very easily have brought Gilgamesh, but this is probably going to be the one time that I bring Soldier Boy out of quasi-retirement until he gets replaced by Zack when Zack gets here next week for the Divine Leviathan. So I thought, you know what, I'll give Cloud his chance to shine. Plus I do have a maxed out UT greatsword, as you can see, 5 out of 5, glorious teal. And I wanted to see just how much damage I could do with Cloud's burst finisher, because as we all know, or as those of us that have been playing long enough knows, one of the defining characteristics about Cloud has always been that his burst finisher deals an obscene amount of damage relative to just about everyone else. So I thought, okay, so what happens when you take that tendency and you combine it with Ketshi and Iroha? Yes, that's right, we have Ketshi now. Finally, fucking Ketshi and Ida came back on banners, and you damn well bet that I pulled until I got both of them. Especially Ketshi, because having this LD is kind of like having Alize on everyone. It's not quite as strong as Alize because it doesn't have the HP damage bonus, but the Bravery Battery per critical hit, I had no idea that was going to become so strong and so useful. But it absolutely does, because Garnet exists. And you know, Garnet is basically kind of like semi-Ramza, but with like Y'shtola and all sorts of goodness, and Bartz. It's like Y'shtola, Bartz, and like fucking Ramza had a love child and slapped Imperil on it, and that's pretty much what Garnet is. It's great. So she actually really helps anything to do with bravery gain, which of course Ketshi is going to be helping out with that. I decided to go ahead and blue Rem's armor because Rem is actually really, really good. If you want turn efficiency, she's probably one of the best choices out there, because like she attacks. Not only does she swap her turn now, she attacks for free. Like she literally gives your main attacker, who might be slow as balls like Cloud here, she gives him a turn, and then she attacks anyway, and it doesn't take up a turn count. So it's just all sorts of silliness. So without further ado, we pretty much don't need to go into too much detail about how this is going to work. Let's dive into it. These enemies, the LUFENIA orbs, do tick down by 2 when you take a turn, but they increase whenever you critical them, and they also increase whenever you delay them, and they don't start out with the Luffy orbs. So that is certainly a thing to bear in mind. And of course that thing there, it just said 7 consecutive player turns, is going to trigger them to get a turn, and when they do that they will cleanse themselves. So it's kind of funny to me that a quest that basically demands you to delay them in order to fulfill the Luffy orb condition is going to straight up tell you, okay, well, that's nice, but also you can't take too many turns or we're going to delay it. So that's kind of bullshit. So I'm just going to go ahead and launch here, because honestly, why the fuck not? Cloud does absolute gobfuls of damage now on his finishing touch, because he gets self-battery. Please excuse the dinging in the background. I have another program running, so yeah, sorry about that. Alright. So I don't particularly want to... Okay, so this Solita, that's going to debuff everyone with New Moon Mysteries and delay them, and this is going to launch them. Okay, so I kind of don't want to do the whole launch thing. Let's I'll get this up just to get a bit of battery on the launch here. And yeah, Divine Judgment it is. Get the burst finisher. Let's get it going. Okay, so that did not do nearly as much bravery damage as I was expecting, but I mean, that's fine. We've got Ketshi pretty soon to help out. These things' defense must be freaking high, dude. Like, maybe I should swap her into lightning mode. I'm honestly not sure. But let's get Ketshi up and running. Good shit, you'll have to see it. Now I'll swap over to Cloud over here. And attack in the process. Alright, so now we get Iroha up and running. So we've got all of the battery shenanigans going on. All of the Brave gain big green numbers. And of course, it's going to they're going to like warp themselves and cleanse themselves, which is exactly as obnoxious as it sounds like. Of course, Garnet is goated, so she's going to step in here. And here comes the Luffy orb. But let's see how much damage we do here with Cloud's burst finisher. It should be pretty meme-worthy numbers. Yeah, 4.1 million. Kind of speaks for itself, if you ask me. So what's really interesting to me is that Cloud's his burst effect, or like his burst aura, it only has 6 turns on it. So actually the only way that you're going to be able to use Cloud's burst finisher while under the effects of his aura is by using the burst sequence first, and then using the finisher like standalone while you're under the effects of the aura, because his burst will not last for his whole burst sequence, you know what I mean? Anyway. You know, that's neither here nor there. Okay, we're dealing 1s with Rem, which is awesome. Good job, we still have the battery going on from Garnet. I should probably have used the Thunder stance rather than the Water stance. But you know, it's too late for regrets. All we have now is a burst sequence and a dream. So let's go with Meteor Rain, because we have over the maximum bravery cap. And the split damage, in my opinion, is much better called than the LD, because the LD would only dump on one target. So as you can see, it's an EX for like fucking 1.7 million per target. Now we can Blade Beam. Cloud's putting out those big boy numbers right now. Now we can start with the launch degeneracy. Paralysis that is probably going to be extremely useless. Now I'm gonna finishing touch here. Now I am not gonna launch B. I'm gonna let Garnet do that. I'm gonna just critical crush over here. And then we can use our finisher. $3.6 mil. Not quite the 4.1 that we got earlier, so it definitely proves that there's a lot of breathing room there. But yeah, as I said, look, we nearly broke 17 million on the fucking burst sequence. So yeah, absolutely impressive. True shenanigans. Now then, let's proc the launch. I said I was going to do it on Garnet, but I lied. And let's do a swap turns. I'm keeping the turn count at 4, okay? You see what I'm doing. There we go. Debuff is nice and up there. Desil's a pretty good call actually. Like I think his debuff still gives you the 20% HP bonus damage, which is rather nice to have. But anyway, without further ado, we shall segue into the burst. I mean, the summon phase. It's not a burst. I'll just use LD so that we get to heal everyone, and this is pretty much all she wrote, to be honest. Okay, not quite as much damage as I thought, or as I hoped. Go, let's get you out of here. And a nice big chunky launch from Cloud to finish off with. Absolute degenerate numbers. 2 million. I think I'm pretty sure I've had higher than that as well. I've had like 2.45 million. I think that was with the retained bravery from the burst finisher. Anyway, that's all she wrote. We're already finished in like 4 turns. So yeah, extremely straightforward quest. Obviously, their defense is quite high, and they do cleanse debuffs when they sort of magic their turns out of nowhere. So if you're not using Garnet, then a good shout is probably to be using Lock instead. I can almost guarantee you he'll make things a hell of a lot more straightforward because these things have quite high defense. But yeah, other than that, that is pretty much going to be all she wrote. That's going to be it from me. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and then I will catch you in the next one, which is going to be oh god, we all looking forward to Divine Leviathan farming. I know I sure aren't. Anyway, until then, I'm going to say take care and goodbye.